Hey, what's up guys, it's Magnus here, and I wanted to do a video about kind of staying calm under high pressure situations versus double DPS and twos. And I thought, what better comp to play against or show a game against than double sub rogue. A lot of the openers against sub rogue teams, primarily sub rogue teams and twos, are like, yes, double sub rogue, rogue hunter, which is kind of rare, but mainly rogue mage, things like that. But double rogue openers are extremely scary. So I kind of wanted to just go over a game that I had, kind of showcase how you need to play an opener, how you need to stay calm, how to rotate your cooldowns, how to rely on your healer, things like that. So I'll just kind of commentate over the game, kind of go over everything that I'm doing, the things that I'm thinking in the game, and what our goals are in the game. So first and foremost, I'll just go over my talents. I'm just playing Disarm, Master and Commander, and Warbanner. I think these are just, I mean, you're fighting a double sub rogue. You don't really need Sharpen. You don't need Overwatch. You're not going to reflect anything. You don't need any of those like talents, right? Like you don't need to reduce healing. You don't need to stop any sort of like casted ranged abilities really. And also like you'll notice this is a game I had on my main. This is whenever I was Vinthir on my main as well. So after I do that, I'm gonna go General Draven here too. The reason I'm gonna go General Draven is so that I have the Surface and Stone, just the damage reduction, the flat damage reduction below 40%. It's actually really nice in these scenarios. Most of the time, you're going to be out of combat a lot, so you're not going to be gaining those stacks for Thrill Seeker. If you play Nadia, you're not going to need to get out of roots as Theatar. You're not going to be standing still or in combat often, so you're not going to get any value from Theatar's Mastery buff either. So really, you just need as much defensiveness as you can possibly get. And then also, I'm just playing normal trinket setup versus some shit like this. I'm playing BM or Emblem, and I'm playing Relentless. I don't think there's any reason versus double sub rogue to take trinket. And just kind of what like our goal is. Obviously, like we're gonna kill a rogue here, like XD, like no fucking shit. But it's really just depends on which rogue plays what way and how they open the game. And however they open the game will kind of determine how we play the game too. So opener, just kind of speed through it real quick, and then I'll slow it down once the game gets started. You can just see they're just gonna wait out my haunts, right? Cenarian ward. They're just gonna wait on everything that they can. There's no reason for them to open, right? It's boring, but there's no reason for them to open. And then once Cenarian ward runs out or gets low, that's whenever they're gonna actually go for a sab. You can see I just target it. I look at it. Okay, so here's the opener, right? So they kidney bomb me, dance after, right? I have no haunts, my druid and stealth. I'm like, okay. Since there's no blades here, I'm fine, right? Even though the rogues are probably Kyrian, even if they're not, like Kyrian is like you need to be more wary of Kyrian rogues in the opener because Echoing Reprimand will hit harder than Sepsis or Sepsis. Stepsis XD. Haha. I think it's just Sepsis. Um, but there's no blades, so I know I can tank a lot of this damage because obviously I'm a warrior. I'm a D-stance. I have high armor. If there's no blades, the shadow damage is what really cuts you down. So they both open on me here. My druid just comes in, barks me, and I sit all of this, right? I'm sitting here and I'm staring at it and I'm making sure, like, okay, my ideal thought here is like, okay, I know that my druid is gonna come into the bark. There's no way he's gonna or into the bomb, and he's gonna iron bark me and he's gonna overgrowth me. So I sit all of this. I get pretty low here. I get to about 20%, and even through this, I get a little bit lower. And my first global out, or not even global because it's off global, is I'm just gonna go ahead and press BM Trinket, right? You can see there on my bars, I press BM. I don't do anything else. I intervene Dino, just in case they go for a blind or something on Dino. Because if they go for a blind or something on Dino, then I'm going to have to use more, or he's going to have to trinket. We don't want that. So I hit him with the intervene. I do it a little bit late after they get a cheap shot on him. Unlucky, but it is what it is. Then I'm completely fine. Random screen tear, but I'm fine. And then they blind me and they break it, right? So now it's like, okay, they blinded me, they broke it. That was only Iron Bark and Overgrowth from us, and a blind from them. I didn't use anything. I used BM. That was it. I still have Trinket, I still have Parry, I have Warbanner, I have all my buttons, so now it's whenever I really need to go offensive. But I need to be careful whenever I am going offensive that I don't stay offensive too long because their stun DRs are going to quickly rotate back up. The only time that sub-rogue compositions can do anything in a game, in both 2s or 3s, is whenever they have stun DRs. If they're not, if there's no stun DR available, if you're on DR for stuns, they can't do anything. There's nothing to be done, right? They can only kill you in stuns. Sub-rogue doesn't do just high single target or like PvE style DPS, they can't stay out. They have to run. So now's whenever you see I'm gonna go battle. I want to do damage, so I press my C smash. I'm trying to do damage. They both evasion. I'm like, oh, that sucks. I go to hit this guy. I bolted him. It sucks that he cloaked before the bolt because now I can't condemn him. Obviously, I can still like Mortal Strike overpower while I can Mortal Strike while he's storm bolted, but I can't do it after. And obviously, I'm keeping track of my BM here too. Okay, my BM's gonna fall soon. I'm trying to keep the rogues in combat. I'm trying to stay around them. My druid's trying to stay with me. So one of them duels me, and they run away. I assume here that my druid is like near the rogue in duel, so I try and door up to stay on the rogue because I'm assuming that my druid is near him, but I actually just doored away from the rogue. It's awkward. I try and leap and keep him because I want to keep at least one of the rogues so we don't lose combat completely. Sucks. So I didn't keep either of them. We're not in voice, so I don't know. If we were in voice, he could have told me, yo, like this rogue's here or something. He could have told me where the rogue was, but we weren't. So just go back to stance because I'm off stun DR, and then just wait for the next opener. So here they open again. Again, I'm just sitting this as defensive as possible. This is the blades go, so I need to be a little bit more careful here. So out of the blades go, I intervene Dino so they can't blind him yet because they do have one blind left, and I didn't get it. Dino walked out of range of me, so I couldn't actually keep the intervene on him. So you can see that just kidney, even though intervene, you can see intervene on my thing says that there's 26 seconds remaining on the cooldown. Intervene's duration is 6 seconds. There were still 2 seconds left of intervene, so he walked out of range of me. It is what it is. I absolutely wasted Warbender here like a dog. I don't know what I was trying to Warbender. I guess maybe I thought I was trying to Warbender a blind or Warbender on Dino as he walked out of range. But it actually just ends up coming out a little bit late anyway, so it's kind of a complete waste of Warbender. I still have Disarm, I still have Parry, I have Rally. I don't have a BM, but I should be completely fine, and I have a Trinket, so I'm fairly certain that I'm fine here. How I want to play this is a couple ways. I could Fear because they're not on Fear DR, and we just got both their Trinkets. I can Disarm, or I can just Parry and try and sit through all of it. What I opt to do is to just bolt this guy and do damage to him anyway. Even though it is one of their blade dances, there's not enough damage on me. I'm in D stance at full HOTS, so I didn't even use my disarm during that go. I actually used my disarm, or opt to save my disarm, which I actually think is a fine play in this scenario because I do have a blind, and they could sap out of the blind. So although like maybe the play would have been to have parried there, if there was more damage, right? Because like the scenarios that I just listed are like scenarios that would happen like assuming that they're doing damage and assuming that I'm scared, but the way that the game played out, I just wasn't scared. They didn't do enough damage to me, so I just bolted the one rogue and stayed on him. They blinded Dino, so I'm just like, okay, like I saved disarm. So the one rogue ran, the other rogue blinded, and this rogue's trying to go for a sap while the other rogue's running, and they just don't get it. Sounds like, okay, like I can just stay offensive now, right? I'm on stun DR, so you'll see the only times that I go battle stance, you can see that my stance will swap right here throughout the game. If you rewind this video, you'll see that my stances are right here. The only time that I go battle is whenever I'm on stun DR. Any other time in the game, I'm always in D. I'm always trying to keep ignore pain up. I'm always trying to mitigate as much damage as possible while creating as much offense as possible. So here the rogue actually fucks up. He half jeeps me and then runs away, right? You can see the eyes start spawning, right? You see it just spawned up here. I spawn at a minute 30 into the game. And me and my druid are both like, okay. Like, again, we're not in Discord, we're not communicating this, but we both just know, okay, it's a double sub rogue, we'll just get the eyes. I have Trinket Parry. Not going to kill me from the eye buff, right? So now we just see both rogues. Dino actually gets sapped out while getting the eye. And then I go to, like, get to this guy. And what I should have done, you can see that I'm spamming it, right? Like I'll rewind this a little bit. You can see that I'm spamming my Blade Storm. Right? And this video is slowed down, but I don't actually get it in time. But because the kidney shot was completely DR'd, the reason it was so DR'd is because the other rogue put me on DR with the half cheat. I'm completely fine here. So I'm spamming to try and charge and Blade Storm, and I don't get it, but he puts me on kidney DR. So I'm like, okay, like whatever. I'm just going to Blade Storm now so that I can't get restunned, or not restunned, or like, blinded, anything like that, right? They can't restun me because I was a third DR, kidney. They literally can't do anything to me here. I'm just going to Blade Storm, do damage to both of them, and then Fear as I come out, and then stun this guy whenever my Storm bolt's up, and then just kill him. And, the other rogue is just kind of like whatever. I leap on him, keep him. I still have eye. He can't get away from me. But I guess the purpose of this video, even though it's like the game looks somewhat easy, even me watching it back, I think, okay, like this game was pretty easy. There wasn't anything really to be scared of the whole game. It's just like there would have been scenarios for me to be scared of in this game or against this team or in a lot of these games versus these double DPS teams where if I overuse in the opener, it completely changes the pace of the entire game because it's a double DPS team. The game is on a clock. They can only run for so long. Normally these teams have to win before the eyes come up because, you know, like you just saw with me and my druid, once we do get the eye, the game is pretty much over. They can't get away from us unless we mess up, we get sapped out, something like that. You know, there's no real scenario after the eyes come out where they can win. But I kind of wanted to just use it as an example of like how to really structure an opener, how to be careful in an opener, and how to not allow a team to really get the advantage from the beginning of the match against you, and to just maintain, you know, your stronghold, your strong arm on the game.